Our next expert is Jenny DeBolt. She's the author of Suicide and Sequins. She lost her infant niece by drowning, her sister and father to suicide, and several other loved ones tragically. She uses these losses to bring awareness to mental health, suicide, and suicide loss while coaching on how to live a life joyously and cohesively with grief. Please welcome to the stage our next expert, Jenny DeBolt.
By a silent hand to your heart, how many of you have experienced a loss to suicide or know somebody who's experienced a loss to suicide? By a silent raise of your hand. One person dies by suicide every 40 seconds. That sounds insignificant until you say that's 2,100 people per day dying by suicide. Stand up if you would like to see that number reduced. Stand up. If you'd like to see less people die by suicide, stand up. Awesome. That's all of us. I'm here to teach you a very easy tip on how to start that change. She killed herself. He committed suicide. How heartless are those statements? Do you hear judgment in those? Are we here on this earth to judge others?
No.
No. We're here to love people. So, here are some better ways to say it. My sister died by suicide. My father died from suicide. Easy, right? There's 78 organs in the body. 5 of them are considered vital for survival. That's the heart, the kidneys, the liver, the lung, and the brain. Illness in the brain is the number one cause of suicide. And when someone has a heart attack, we all have empathy, right? We don't run around saying, they heart attacked themselves, right? We don't run around saying, they diabetes themselves. We don't do that, right? We're not judging them. We have compassion for them. So why don't we have the same compassion for people that die from a brain illness? It's your brain that's not serving you. Can we not have compassion for that? So why judge? There's nothing to judge. They're ill. I went to this training for suicide prevention. And I have been a survivor of suicide loss for 14 years total now. So I go to this training. I think I know quite a bit about suicide. Loss, that is, at least. I go to this training, and they have these 2 columns. This column over here is the ways not to talk about suicide. This column over here is the ways to talk about suicide. So one of the ways not to talk about suicide is committed suicide. The reason they say that is because it can be related to incarceration or by put into a facility against your will. Well, nobody wants to be saying that happened to them or their loved ones. So the other column, which I couldn't even pay attention to that column because in the other column, in the correct ways to say it, was killed themselves. Took their life. I was so disturbed by this. I mean, it was just eating at my heart. So I called my friend Jacqueline. She's a few months short of her master's in mental health counseling. And she's a survivor of losing her sister nearly 4 years ago to suicide. I say, Jacqueline, oh my gosh, listen to this crap I had to hear. And I said, can you tell me if I'm being overly emotional or triggered? And she said, oh my gosh. Actually, when I first told her, she goes, oh, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. And I felt a little bit validated, We were talking about it. And she says, you know what, why? Killed is related to murder. Come on, guys. Did people dying by suicide kill someone and murder them? Do they deserve to be put in cuffs and go to jail? I don't think so. I really don't. So then we were talking a little bit more. I said, what do you think about the word took? And she said, I don't really know what I thought, And I said, you know what? I think it sounds like they're stealing something from us. They're taking something from us, right? But did you know that most people that attempt suicide, they say that they felt they were helping their loved ones? You probably didn't know that. They actually feel they're helping them. Wouldn't you say that's a brain illness to be thinking that? Right. So then we talked a little bit about the word took, or a little bit about killed. The Bible says thou shalt not kill, right? There's still churches that won't even let you hold services for someone by suicide. Like, are you kidding me? I wanted to teach you a little bit about that so you understood how your words matter. We have to get to the root, which is mental health. So we're going to practice really quick. It's hard to say this term when you're used to saying killed. Died by suicide. Say it. Died by suicide. Died by suicide. Wasn't that easy? Let's give them compassion and change the world with that easy thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jenny DeBolt.